This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, the intro, it's good, homie. The intro's so nice, we play it twice.
Yo, I literally, my air conditioner, I put a ticket in to get it fixed because being in Phoenix in the summer and it being 80 and your air conditioner isn't working isn't a good thing. So I literally put a ticket in before we went on the show. Dude, maintenance was here in 10 minutes. So there might be a little bit of commotion when they come in and out and the dog barking. But dude, getting an air conditioner fixed in the summer in Phoenix is a little bit more important than this podcast. I'll be honest with you, dude, because I'm not sitting out here at 90 degrees tonight, like just trying to sleep.
Well, these maintenance people, they're about to get some serious bowling knowledge dropped on that ass. I can tell you that. They're gonna leave you. They're gonna leave your apartment knowing more about bowling than they did before they were there.
I know. So they're coming back. So it's gonna be a little bit of commotion here, but I'll try to mute myself if it's a little bit loud. But Mike,
Rob,
we got a lot to talk about.
This is how dedicated our fans are. Okay, this is how dedicated we love the fans. 32 Rec T, strange name, all good. Do you, homie? Comes in last night when we are not even on. And gives us a message that he's angry that we have been inconsistent with our uploading. Gary, what's good? Nico, how's it going? How's it going, Nico? Nico's asking who made me angry because of my tweet promoting the show tonight. But yeah, honestly, Nico, I'm a little upset at the bowling community in general tonight. We'll talk more about it. In a few. Robert, what's good? Had a great 4th of July. I hope you did too. Yes, as always. Subscribe to the channel, hit the subscription button. You know this. Rob, lot of new, we've been off for a week or two, a lot of news to discuss, a lot of things going on in the bowling community as of late. Rob, we're bringing on a guest tonight. We're bringing on an unannounced, unpromoted guest tonight. We'll talk about it in a little bit to discuss some recent developments in the bowling community. So, folks, stick around. We're gonna have a high level conversation here about some things in a few minutes. So, if you're in the chat, if you're live with us here, stick around. If you're listening to this after the fact, enjoy the conversation. I think it's going to be a good one. Rob, quickly, let's tell the people what we've been up to because we took off last week mainly because you were bowling the Tat, right? I mean that's the main reason we took off. You went to Vegas to bowl the Tat. I know it was kind of up and down for you. The people want to know. Tell them, Rob.
It was more up and then just a slow, gradual down. So long story short, I bowled my first VIP sweeper there right out of the gate, right out of the box. 258, 257 in the VIP.
Woo!
Crushed him,
Woo!
right? Didn't go in a ton of brackets because it was my first squad. But, Mike, I had to look with the purple urethane up the gutter. And I said, Mike, if they give me that look, the 2019 Kentucky, that's what I was calling it. the 2019 Kentucky, if I had to look at the gutter, I would have absolutely hammered him. But I started drawing high pairs, and they were really tight down the lane. Anyway, long story short, I didn't really bowl that well. I was in 205 land. I just had a bunch of like 6-0s and 615s, maybe like a 580 or a 570 in there.
So how many squads did you bowl to try and qualify?
I bowled 4 total squads.
Okay. And how much is it approximately a squad?
Well, you bowl. I qualified. I paid for a mini marathon. I got a Helios, an idle Helios, and I got some other stuff, and 2 squads and 3 VIPs for like 500, which was well worth it. The bowl itself is probably worth about $100 online. And then every re-entry for me was 180. So overall was probably 360, about 860 in entries, and then the brackets and whatnot. But I made a bunch of money in the first VIP and brackets, so I got a lot of that back, honestly. So, and I was making a little bit of money here and there. So overall, I probably lost like 300 or something, maybe a little bit more than that, with all the expenses and the traveling and stuff. But you know what? This was the first tournament that I actually didn't bowl that good, but I was really optimistic leaving. I know what I need to work on. I really have a really focus on what I have to get better at. My spare shooting was horrendous. That being said, I consider myself a very good spare shooter. So if I miss 1 single pin or 2 single pins in 3 games, I think that's a miss on my end. I really should not miss any single pins. And I was missing 1 or 2 a set, and it was killing me. But Mike, I got to learn how to slow hook it. I anything I bowl on these days, it feels like the slow hook is always in, and that's my like C game. I've never been a good slow hook guy. And this tournament, this pattern that was used, dude, the slow hook was out. People were standing on 20, 25. I know Dan Dunleavy bowled next to me one qualifying squad, shot like 690. I watched it. He was playing like an hour left of me. He's throwing an hour right of me. I just couldn't get that same kind of look. Yeah. So other than that, I
saw a video of the kid who won too, and he was a more of a slow hook 2-hander. I saw the way that he threw it, and I was like, wow. He was actually using urethane in the final match.
They were so tight down the lane that like if you had any speed or any not really a lot of hand, and you leaked it right, you 2-pinned or you 2-8-10'd, the people who could really slow it up and really get their ball not to read that 50-foot part of the lane that could get their ball started at like 40 feet, it seemed, bowled really well there. So I have a lot to work on. There's a tournament I signed up for next weekend, 2,000 for first in Phoenix, and then I'm bowling a 10-grand tournament in September. So I got some stuff coming up, but that's the quick overview of my trip. I almost died on my way there, almost got into a really bad car accident. Guy pulled in front of me doing 65 on the highway. I literally swerved to miss him. I almost lost control of the car. I felt like cruising USA, Mike. Remember that arcade game?
Yeah.
Yo, if it wasn't for my like really like quick reflexes, and Mike, I turned the wheel so hard that I jammed my finger. That's how hard I jammed it. And the car started shaking because I thought I was going to lose control because I was going so fast. I was actually just really humble and thankful that he didn't hit me and that he didn't touch me and I missed him and I was actually alive, honestly, because that would have been really bad for me. But anyway, so overall, it was a crazy trip. Got to see a lot of friends, which is always the cool part about bowling. So, that's my quick, 5-minute version of what happened.
Review.
So,
okay. League review. It's what the people come for. It's what the people want to hear about. I guess 2 weeks of league have gone by. I do not remember any of the pattern names that we're bowling on. I think Abbey Road is what we bowled on last night, and that was actually pretty challenging. 3-1, 40 feet. I used urethane all 4 games. Bowled okay, but threw it pretty well actually. I didn't feel that my score reflected how well I threw it for a couple games. It's like one of the most frustrating things to me about bowling on the tougher stuff is that, like, all right, let's say I start a game and I go good shot, strike, good shot, strike, good shot, leave a 9-pin. Okay, make it. Good shot, mediocre shot, okay, leave a 2-pin, make it. Okay. Good shot, leave a 4-pin, make it. Right. Bad shot on the next one. 2, 4, 8, 10, open. Okay. Good shot, strike. Decent shot, let's say 2, 8, make it. Decent.
So
You understand? Decent
let me
shot,
jump in
7
here.
pin. You understand what I'm saying? Like then, at the end of that game, if you open one more time in that game, you're shooting 170.
Yo, here's the thing: is
and
what
I
I've
feel
learned,
like I threw it good enough to shoot 230.
right?
But I shot 170 because
because
some of my decent shots didn't strike, and my bad ones were opens. And yeah.
Well, listen, here's my take, right? In today's game, the really key to success is being able to throw a decent shot and striking, meaning finding a reaction or a ball in your bag that's going to be able to not have to throw the ball perfect to strike. Do you think a lot of these two-handers that they're throwing, their shot making, they're not, but they're able to throw the ball decent enough and be able to create enough power and rotation with the way they throw it, where if they throw it decent enough, they're probably going to strike more than you'll strike if you throw it decent. So that's the key. That's the trick. If you can find a reaction. Look, when I bowl 515 in the VIP and I was throwing a urethane, I wasn't puring every shot. I maybe made 4 good shots every game, but the other 6 were decent shots, but I struck on the decent shots. If you're not striking on the decent shots, you're probably in the wrong ball, honestly, or the wrong part of the lid. Or you just roll and doesn't match up to what's out there.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, sometimes it's even my good shots don't strike.
Well, then you're really shit out of luck.
Yeah, I mean,
pack up your shit and leave.
Like sometimes, I mean, there's a few where it's like, oh my god, I threw one of the best shots that I've thrown all night. It didn't strike. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm throwing it okay. I think last night I shot like 7. I think I was minus 20, 780 for 4, which wasn't bad. The week before, I really struggled. I forget what pattern it was, but I really struggled. I think I shot like 2 150s out of the 4 games, and I don't think I shot a game above 200. Like, I really struggled. And the pattern wasn't that hard. I was just playing the wrong part of the lane. And I was, I got a fresh pair after we were done, tried a couple different things, and I eventually figured them out and had a really good look and felt like I couldn't miss. And yeah, you're right. I mean, that's kind of the way things go. So listen, I'm bowling this week. I'm bowling a big tournament this weekend, Rob. I'm bowling a tournament at $6,000 for first place this weekend.
Nice.
Up at Parkway Lanes. Dougie is running
my old stomping around there.
Yeah, Dougie's running a bracket tournament, match play style tournament. There is a qualifying. There's 96 bowlers. It's sold out. There is a qualifying of 3 games, and I think the top 31 go to the bracket, and then 32 and 33 bowl a 1-game roll off to see who makes it. And the field is stacked. The field is stacked.
Of course.
I'm gonna screenshot it and send it out on Twitter. But yeah, there's a Calcutta. So I think that perhaps Sweep the Rack should invest in Big Mike in case I decide to bowl good and make a run, because I have been known to do that from time to time. So yeah, I hear you, Robert. I don't think the Calcutta is live. I mean, I think they're doing it on Facebook. I'm not sure. So you could possibly check that out. But yeah, I'm bowling that tournament this weekend. My goal is just to get to the batch play bracket. Bowl. Do not do anything too dumb in the 3-game qualifying that I do not make it through the 3-game qualifying.
30 out of 90 is, I mean, that's not terrible. It's not a terrible cut, but it's still going to be a hard one because of all the probably great bowlers that are coming out. So.
Yeah, but is he
using a shot or is he using a house shot?
No, it's it's patterns.
Okay, because I got a little nervous. If it was a house shot, I was like, probably might get you and I ain't gonna bowl.
No. If it was a house shot, I think I'd have a better chance actually, because I would feel like I'm throwing it into an ocean. I'd feel so comfortable. It'd be so easy to get loose. But no, right. It's on a pattern, so excited to bowl that. I'll let you all know how I do. All right, let's move on. There's a lot of bowling news to discuss. In fact, there's a bowling show on right now. You people should be watching it and come back and check us out, or have it on mute and be listening to us here while you're watching the bowling telecast. I have it recording downstairs. I'm going to go watch it as soon as we're done here because, I have a lot of time to do that kind of stuff right now. But, Rob, some of the big news in the bowling community this week was the death of FloBowling. And this is sort of a funeral here tonight. Oh, you pouring some out for FloBowling?
I'm pouring one out for Flo.
Okay.
R.I.P. Flo. FloBowling had a good run, man. Had a good run, man. The last year, 6 months. First off, let me say this, Mike.
Well, hold on.
We called it.
The handwriting was on the wall. I don't think we're not gonna sit here and praise ourselves for predicting something that was clearly going to happen. But I do feel like obviously we had talked about this. But all right, Rob, before we even start the discussion here, we've wasted enough time. Let's bring in our guest. Okay, our guest is Mike Flanagan tonight. All right, Mike, welcome to Sweep the Rack. Welcome back. You've been here before.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So we here's how Mike ended up coming on the show. I put on Twitter.
Oh God.
I put out the bat signal.
Oh God.
Mike Flanagan. I'm like, somebody find Mike Flanagan. When I heard that FloBowling was going to be no longer, and he tweeted back at me a meme from
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, yes. And I didn't know how to take it. I didn't know whether to take it literally or not. But I told him that his attention was required because we needed someone to save bowling on the internet. And I was nominating him to save bowling on the internet. Now, people might wonder why. Who is Mike Flanagan and why would I nominate him to save bowling on the internet? Listen, if you don't know, if you're unaware, let me make you aware. Okay. There might not be anybody who's more plugged in bowling than Mike is. All right. Mike has not only started his own business and website in bowling and streaming service in bowling, right, with tournaments, etc., but he has also worked for all of the players in the game. Okay. When I say players in the game, I don't mean the people that throw the bowling balls down the lanes. I'm talking about the biggest organizations in bowling. Okay, I'm talking about the bowling ball companies. I'm talking about the USBC. I'm talking about FloBowling. I'm talking about the PBA. All right, Mike, does that accurately sum up your experience in the bowling game?
Yeah, and it's kind of sad that I'm not able to be Stan Musial or Derek Jeter or Cal Ripken Jr. I'm kind of a guy that bounces around. I'm more like Russell Westbrook, which sucks.
Yeah, a hired gun, I would say. But
the journeyman.
I think that also speaks to, the versatility of what you can do. And I think if people are familiar with Inside Bowling, which is Mike's website, you guys should check it out. And if you check our scroll at the bottom of the screen, code Sweep the Rack, 20% off anything you want there. All right, yeah. Code Sweep the Rack. Use that. Hit that website for your bowling gear. But if you check it out, you're very versatile over there. You got the social media piece, you got the website piece, you're running tournaments, you're streaming, you're selling merch. And those that know that, for the most part, it's you behind most of that. Okay. So when the news broke that Flo was dying and this was going to be the death of FloBowling, I have to say, you came to mind to me as someone, because there's only a few people out there who would probably have the ability and knowledge and connections and time to do this. But you came to mind for me as somebody who, should be behind whatever is resurrected to replace FloBowling as the home of at least professional bowling or high-level bowling on the internet. So that's why we're here. We brought Mike in to join this discussion because he has a lot of background knowledge in this and has a lot of experience. And, we plan to have a little conversation here just about how we got to this point and where things might go from here. So let's start there. How did we get to this point? Why did Flo not work out? All right, Rob, I'm going to pass it to you first because I know you had some comments to start with. So, just to kind of pick it up from where you left off when I interrupted you to bring Mike on and, throw in there. Why did Flo not work out in your opinion, Rob?
I think it was first off to me, maybe the price of it, I think was a tough buying factor for fans. I think watching and I've had this complaint about FloBowling since the minute I was able to stream it, is the fact where I'd watch one pair and it was just everybody would be on that pair, or I'd have maybe a choice of 4 to 5 pairs, but I couldn't follow along with my like favorite bowler. So I didn't really like want to pay, with 150 a year to watch some average guy bowl 150. I didn't think they had enough content for the bowlers. I think they were on the right path with the documentary that they did on Simonson, the documentary they did with the two-handers. I felt like they were on the right path, but I feel like maybe the money that they were spending to do all that, they weren't getting the money back in subscriptions from the fans, really. I mean, if they were making money, trust me, they would have never got rid of PBA. So obviously they weren't making any money. So yeah, and maybe I know Mike talks about the internet connections being a really hard part of the stream, and I felt like the quality of the stream wasn't as good as other streaming services. That was just my opinion. So
yeah,
okay.
Can I speak to that internet thing real quick? All right, so when the powers that be, whether it's USBC or PBA, go to an event or they book a contract, in the contract it says we need at least 50 megabits per second upload speed as part of your contract. Okay. I will tell you, you can ask any of us that do this, Jeff Goodger, Emil, JT, whoever. When we go in there, about 20% of the time we have what we need when we're outside of Las Vegas. Okay. So when you go to stream, you have the options of streaming at 240p, which is like terrible, the 360p, which is still terrible, 480p. We almost always stream at 720, which in my opinion is still terrible. And then you got 1080 and then 4K, right? So the cameras that everybody uses and has are 1080 cameras. However, when you're going to put out 6 streams, a 1080 connection needs to be at a minimum of 4 megs per stream. So if you have 6 streams, you need 24 meg upload at all times. If you ever do a speedtest.net, that thing throttles up and down, especially when you're not in a really metropolitan area where they have great internet. Even if you have 50 up, it doesn't mean you're consistently 50. So a lot of times we cannot stream at 1080. So we have to knock it down to 720 at usually 1.25 megabits per second per stream. So we're using about 11. I will tell you, the last center I went to work, which was Odessa, and those people were peaches. They were awesome. The proprietors are awesome. They love bowling. And it's hard for you or for the PBA or USBC to go into an event and say, we're not going to have an event here because your internet sucks. When the people are so great and they fill the pro-ams and they check every other damn box, and then so we show up, and then us guys have to produce this show and just keep us online, right? So I went into Odessa, and when I got there, I noticed that our internet speed was 5 meg up. 5 meg up, okay? All right. Then after a little research, I found out that Flow the year before streamed through Verizon hotspots, which in my opinion is terrible. Everything's always hardwired whenever we go anywhere. My knees and the gaff tape have a lot to prove on that, right? So I ended up talking to the center manager, and she was awesome. An older couple owns this bowling center. And I said, can we get your internet provider on the phone? Because she said we could upgrade. They are paying $400 more a month now and got me 50 up. Okay. However, it was bouncing, and they told me their credit card machines go down like every other day. Okay. For a period of time. So I got the damn internet company to come out with the assistance of the old couple there, the beautiful couple that run the center. And they had to replace the line to the pole and get us a new modem. And I got it all done in about 10 hours time so we could go live the next day. And even so, it was still bouncing, right? But we were able to put out 5 streams. And when Craig and I walked in the door, we weren't sure. We thought we might have to record everything. So I worked till like 11 o'clock that night. And this isn't woe is me, but that's just a perfect example of walking into something. I helped this couple fix their internet connection. Now their credit cards work flawlessly. I left a switch there that I bought for them, everything, right? And we were able to stream 5 streams. That is not out of the ordinary. that is kind of common practice when we go into these places. So I don't want to take up the whole broadcast on that, but that just tells you what we're working with when we go into these places.
And there's no other solution to that other than to upgrade the entire internet for the building. I mean, that almost blows my mind that there's not some device specifically for that type of purpose, for streaming purposes, that, you know, boosts the internet signal or something, or gives you enough juice to be able to stream whatever you want to stream.
I believe they exist, but they are very, 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 very pricey.
Okay.
And to the point where the juice is not worth the squeeze.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Mike, in your opinion, I'll bounce it back to the previous question. Why did Flo not work out?
Well, first of all, you know, Flo used me at the beginning of the season for like almost everything, and they paid well. Okay, just throwing it out there. And I'm.
We know. We know.
I'm kind of.
We know. We worked for them for a minute.
You know what I mean? And they came in guns blazing. I mean, they came in guns blazing pre-COVID, right? I mean, they brought out Lucas and a video person. I watched these people work and put all this stuff out. And they hired Lucas Weisman, for Christ's sakes. I mean, to pay an employee and get somebody who was in bowling, probably the best guy available, you know, they did a great job. Then COVID hit and they didn't see the growth they were looking for in bowling. And eventually it's like, oh, this bowling thing's not going to work out. You know, it's not much different than a lot of the sponsors that have come into bowling over the years. You know, you get good sponsors, but how many of them renew over the years? How many sponsors have been with the PBA for a long period of time? Like right now, we got Guaranteed Rate and Kia and Snickers. Are they going to be here in 10 years? Because a lot of them bail after the first contract. And I feel like the same thing happened with FloBowling. If it's not making money or at least breaking even, I think that's something that they had to take a look at their P&L statement. And then when the travel costs went way up, that was pretty awful. I know what those rental cars cost, and I know what those flights and everything cost. It's just a shame they invested so much time and energy and effort and people into it. But I will say one good thing is, you know, Lucas is so good at just the work that he does. They've been able to use him in other sports, so he gets to keep his job, which is great. It's just a shame that bowling, you know, didn't work out there. You know, I think it's all P&L statement and lack of support. And you guys mentioned how much it cost over there. Most people were grandfathered in under the extra frame rate with those guys, which is another positive thing that Flo did.
Lucas is good. Lucas is good. I checked in with Lucas. Lucas is good. Lucas ended up maybe better than he was before all this. So that is some good news out of this. All right, I'm going to talk about why I think Flo failed. And I got two main reasons. Mike, you touched on one specifically and generally referred to the other. The one you generally referred to is that the cost. You know, I worked for Flo too. We worked for Flo. I worked on site for Flo a couple times. People have no idea what kind of money they were paying out just to the people that were working for them to produce the content they were producing. And I'll give you the best example that I saw, okay, when I was on site with them doing an event. They actually had to pay individuals to sit behind the lanes and put in the scores for the players on a couple pairs. Like one person would be responsible for two pairs. And they were literally paying, like for every two pairs, they had to pay one person, okay? So every two pairs they were broadcasting, they had to pay one person to sit behind and take the scores down, input the scores, okay? And you know, just that kind of cost is a huge cost. Not only, you know, on top of all the stuff that Mike talked about as well. The second thing that Mike more generally referred to, and in the general way you referred to it, is by saying, you know, look at the sponsorship in bowling and like how sponsors don't renew. And listen, I'm going to knock the bowling community because this is true. I'm sorry. Say what you want, but I feel that this is true. The bowling community talks a lot of shit about supporting the bowling community, but the bowling community really falls short in supporting the bowling community, especially when it comes to stuff like this. And I think that is clearly what went wrong with FloBowling, is that they never really got the subscription support. They never got the number of people interested in FloBowling, subscribing to FloBowling, that they really needed to justify the costs and the money that they were spending, and that's the bowling community's fault, because when Flow was at its height, and Rob, I think you kind of capsulized that time period where they had the documentary with Simonson coming out. That was sort of the height of Flow bowling to me. It was they were doing all the right moves, making all the right content. Things were really good. They were constantly trying new things, producing new things. And yeah, the support just wasn't there. So like we always complain about, oh, we don't get this, we don't get that, we don't get, and then we finally have a company come in and say, yeah, you know what? We're going to do this, and we're going to do it like we really give a shit about it. We're going to go out and we're going to hire the best bowling podcast at that time. We're going to hire them and bring them behind our paywall. We're going to go get the best people we can get and hire them as announcers and bring them behind our paywall. You want documentaries on the most popular players? We're going to give you that. Okay? And what did the bowling community do? We didn't support it. We didn't support it. We didn't support it even to the level that they were able to continue doing what they were doing. And I know that the price was high. I'm not trivializing the money. Okay? I understand there's people out there that can't afford it. But guys, and it's funny, I'm not trying to bring up this conversation, but I had a talk this weekend with someone in bowling about whether bowling is a blue collar sport or a white collar sport. Is it a cheap sport to play? Is it the working man's sport to play? Or is it a more expensive sport to play? And I'll be honest with you, I think bowling is more of a white collar sport. It's a very expensive sport to play. Even if you bowl a league that's $30 a week, some pots, some brackets, the new ball, couple drinks, you're probably in for a couple $100 a month. Easy.
Mike, it's a blue collar, it's a white collar sport with the blue collar identity.
Okay, fair enough. It's a different discussion for a different time.
Well, I'll give you this real quick on that. I think it's white collar in our Facebook world that we are in. All of us, right? What other sport can you be a Facebook friend with the elite 20 players in the sport and the commissioner, and send the commissioner a Facebook message and he replies to you, right? So we're in this unique thing, right? But the people that fund the sport, the people that bring in the money and don't walk into a pro shop and say, hey man, can you give me a deal? I'm a 220 average bowler. I'm that good. The people that are just your one night of leaguers, they don't get in pots. It's a night out away from the 9 to 5 and they just want to be with their friends. That is blue collar, I believe, mostly. But I think our
Mike, how can it be when that guy who you described, if he's paying $30 for his league?
Well, he's probably not. He's probably bowling in a mixed league that they have very little prize money in.
So how much is it? How much is it a week? $20?
Maybe.
Okay.
They don't bowl for the money. They bowl for the experience, just to bowl with their friends.
Yeah, but I think you're still talking about $100+ a month.
Yeah,
$150 a month.
Give you that. Yeah,
even on the low end. And I don't know. That's not blue collar to me. It's really not. I don't know. All right, different conversation for a different time.
Sure.
We all talked about why we felt Flow did not work out. Matt Wozni in the chat. He worked for Flow too. Matt, feel free. Give your thoughts on why I think his comment probably says a lot there. But give us your thoughts. We were just discussing why Flow didn't work out. If you have any thoughts, feel free to share. All right. Where do we go from here?
I want to talk about what's going to happen. Or, I mean, I know we had a agenda talk about, before we talk about what's going to happen, we want to talk about the ideal streaming service, what really.
Well, let's talk about what's
right?
probably not going to happen first. And
Okay.
I don't know if we all agree, but I don't think it's likely that the PBA now goes under Bowl TV.
Tragedy. That would be a tragedy, in my opinion, for the bowling fan, because obviously we've been talking about this for years, where we want to have all bowling content under one streaming service. And you know what the value for a fan, and I'm coming in as a fan's perspective here, to have the PWBA, the PBA, the USBC tournament, which they should start streaming more of, college bowling, junior gold, Team USA, right? They need to have that all under one streaming platform. And I think that would, the value of it would be worth what Flow was charging, if not even more. I mean,
so why? So then,
my
why
opinion.
are you saying that would be bad for the? You think that if you'd be happy then if the PBA went under the umbrella of the USBC and Bowl TV?
Oh, 100%. No, yeah. I mean, I'm
Okay,
saying
all
it's a
right, all right.
tragedy if it didn't happen. It
Oh,
needs to
well,
go
that ain't
under
gonna
Bowl
happen.
TV.
That ain't
Well, I'm
gonna happen.
saying it's a tragedy. It's a freaking
Okay,
tragedy.
but it ain't gonna
for the
happen. I mean,
fans.
the PBA, we just talked about last week that the PBA is like kind of taking a shot at the USBC with their certification program and all that. So, like, what do you think? They're now going to partner up? All right, so that's
well. Let's ask Mike. Let's ask Mike.
Nah, I don't even want to put him on the spot with that.
No,
like,
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you. Okay, so a lot of this like PBA and USBC rivalry is more in the mainstream media with people making their own conclusions. Okay. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say
speculation.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that some of the things that are happening are pissing in other people's chili bowls. Okay. And that gets people a little uptight in the bowling industry, right? But the USBC and the PBA are partners with several events throughout the year. The US Open,
Masters,
the Masters, they have a contractual agreement to do so. Okay. And there's a lot of weird, like they're not going to work together anymore. They're divorced, right? That's not quite it. And also when you look at what Bolero is doing with the league certification program, and I'm not close to it, but they had a thing you could sign up for last year that was an add-on with your leagues that got you some benefits. And I believe someone probably sat in a room and said, we've got this many league bowlers out there. We kicked a lot of leagues out for years. Now we realize we need league to survive. What can we do to get an extra $20 out of all of them? Oh, let's give them 10 free games and do this and do this. And if we times that by the amount of money, well, shit, we just came up with $10 million, right? And now this is a premium and this is more add-ons that you can get. You know, they did hire Neil Strimmel, so that one there is an interesting part of all of this. But I don't necessarily think that the two are at odds and they won't work together moving forward. So I think the PBA could be on Bowl TV. I have no inside knowledge, but I totally believe that it could be on Bowl TV because
it's got to happen.
When you look at the production costs to go into that, USBC is a nonprofit organization. That's the other thing. The Bolero is a for-profit. I don't know this for sure because I'm not a lawyer, but it's my understanding that you cannot be a for-profit and be a governing body of any sort of sport. So Bolero could not give up their profitability. Are they going to give up their profitability to govern?
Hell no. They're giving up their profitability for anything.
Go for that. So they can never.
I'm a stockholder.
They can never be USBC, right? They can't replace USBC.
I don't know, but I feel like we're splitting hairs and talking about semantics here because they could and just not call themselves a governing body.
Okay.
So Mike, in your opinion, there is a chance.
Sweep the Rack has an on-staff lawyer, by the way. He agrees. He agrees. We have our own on-staff lawyer.
So there is a chance that we could have all the bowling content streaming under Bowl TV. There is a chance of that happening.
I would believe so, yes, because
you would think, right? Like they would try to make that happen, no?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, right now you can see it out in plain as day. What are they doing for the league right now? They hired Phil Brylow to come in, another guy who does a nice job. They brought him in to stream a few things for them. Right now, the PBA League is being streamed. Okay, I believe the PBA YouTube channel has around 230,000 subs last time I checked. Right, so they're live for PBA competition with the 50 best bowlers on their tour, right? They're doing that. And all these players are tweeting it out. Hey, come watch. They're all on Instagram, everything. They have a little over 1,000 people watching the main feed, and they have between 75 and 400 watching each one of the lanes. I totaled it up. I've been watching it the last 2 days. They've got about 2,000 people watching live. At the peak of the World Series of Bowling for Flow, when I checked how many people we had watching that were paid, was around the same number during those position rounds and stuff. So would you rather have 2,000 for free or 2,000 paying when it's the same damn people? How can there only be 2,000 people watching on YouTube right now? I am astonished that more aren't watching. Is it because it's during the day? Is it because there's no money on the line? It's just qualifying.
Well, Mike, let me tell you why. Because this is what my other beef with it, right? I'm a full-time corporate working America civilian, right? I work from 7 a.m. and I get home at 4:35 p.m. Okay, I get home, I walk the dog. By the time I sit down, and I'm on the West Coast, it's already 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I know that because I can't watch the Mets games. You know what I mean? So my thing is there's so many tournaments that I want to watch that I can't stream it at work. I would get fired. The only time I could ever stream bowling during the day is on a Saturday and Sunday. Now, do I want to sit home and stream bowling all day on a Saturday when I have 2 days off during the week? No. So as a fan who works full time, they need to try to cater a little bit more of the qualifying and the match play in the evening times, dinner times, right? Between, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. during the weeknights, right? Because that's when people like me, who there's a lot of people like me out there, could actually sit down and watch and stream an event.
Sure. Yeah, but I don't. I mean, you can't.
Oh, Mike.
You can't
I knew you were going to disagree with me on that.
Schedule of the freaking professional tour around people's work schedule across the country. I mean, come on.
If it's going to get streaming,
you're being too demanding. You're being too demanding. Like,
Mike, why?
They got to have qualifying at some point. All right, so nobody watches qualifying. Nobody watches qualifying.
No, but I'm talking the like when you're bowling like the last 16 games of match play for the U.S. Open, right?
I mean,
Masters, like the important parts of it, right? Stream it in the evening. Let the pros bowl in the evening. Dude, remember we used to go to Carolina Friday nights to watch the Giant Petragula Open? Why Friday nights was the best time for them, because everybody would get off of work at 5 and they would head on over to Carolina to watch the last 8 to 16 games of match play there, right?
No, I was there all day. I took off school.
Look, but what I'm saying is,
all day for all
is the World
games.
Series, Mike Mike Flanagan will agree with me here. You go to the World Series of bowling and they have the match play for the World Championships on a Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Who's all there? It's 90-year-olds who don't have jobs, and there's 15 people watching. But if they would move that stuff to the night, I guarantee you get more people and you get more subscribers, you get more views. That's just my opinion as a fan who works 50 hours a week.
All right, I'm just saying, though, I mean, today's environment with on demand and everything being, hey, you can go back, you can watch it. They should still be getting more views, more people going back and taking a look, when they're done work, when they have the time. All right. So again, where do we go from here? Let's talk. What you give us your thoughts on what the ideal path is for a legit or the best streaming service you could think of in bowling.
Yeah, well, here's kind of the situation, right? Either the PBA does one of three things with their national tour, right? Because right now the 50 tour is on Bowl TV, and that's given me a gig, and I've had a blast covering those guys.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great action. It's been great action too.
They are fun. They'll let me go down there with a microphone, put it in their face while they're bowling match play, except Angelo. He's the only one that doesn't.
I'm sure Pete.
They're great. I mean, I had Forkel got into it with Amleto at the Masters, and it was hilarious.
Ooh, that sounds juicy.
The Super Senior Classic, and I put the microphone in Forkel's face, and he's like, "This is Amleto's tour, don't you know that?" It was hilarious, right? But those guys are great. But so the PBA has a couple of options, right? They can either work a deal with Bowl TV and put all under one roof. They can, number two, just give it all away free on YouTube, which will do some ad revenue, but they'll be way upside down on that, in my opinion, with how many views they'll get from it, unless they clip out a bunch of cool stuff and try to get some viral hits with this person picked the 710 or falls down and does a Josh Scanlon or a Josh Blanchard falling in the oil type thing or something. Or they can now go back to the drawing board and grab Jeff Goodger, which is who I would think. He's on their payroll and very, very good at streaming. And they can build a brand new service again and bring it back and start from nothing and build it up from the very beginning. And those are their three options, in my opinion. Or, they could partner with somebody as an outside person or company like myself. A lot of people thought I should do it. Or just partner with some other group that wants to do it. So when you talk about, have I thought about this? Have I thought about putting together a proposal? Yeah, I have. So let me ask you guys a couple questions. First one is, how much is a bowling fan? What's the sweet spot price for an annual subscription? Forget the monthlies, forget the event passes. How much should you charge if Sweep the Rack Inside Bowling was going to start this thing? What are we charging, and what are we going to be comfortable charging?
$9.99 a month. Maybe a little bit less. $7.99.
God, you're gonna hate my answer, son. You're gonna. I mean, if I'm being real with you, dog, and I have to be real.
Yeah.
It's got to be free.
Oh,
I know. But listen, hear me out. Wasn't this already proved? Wasn't this already proved with Flow? Isn't this already proved with Bowl TV, where they're not getting massive subscription numbers? The PBA, like Mike just mentioned, isn't even getting massive views when it's free. So I'm going to play along with you, Mike, because I get you. Like, people have to make a living. The people that are doing this, that are involved in it, they got to make money. So if you were to ask me, how are you going to say that? How are you going to say it should be free? Here's my answer. Bolero should sponsor it. Okay? Bolero should sponsor it. And even if that means digging into their own pockets to try and make a run at starting something really legitimate, okay? That's where I think it should come from. I don't want it to get lost in the conversation that, this is $1 billion company that we're talking about. So,
Mike, you don't understand corporate America, Mike.
Oh, I do.
Let me
I know
give
it doesn't work that way. I know it doesn't work that way. I'm just saying, to me, this is where it should come from.
Let me give you a little bit of breakdown of corporate America, okay? Corporate America wants return dollars on every expense that they have, okay? If they don't make return dollars on every expense, there's a reason why they're $1 billion companies, okay? Because they're very, very cheap in what they do, right? And I'm talking in general, corporate America. They pay their people shit, right? They, charge their consumers a lot of money, and that's why they make billions of dollars, right? Mike, look, people will pay for the subscription if they make it worthwhile that people want to buy it, okay?
Yeah, but you're only going to get so many. That's my point. Like, if you want the real numbers, it's got to be free. But all right, if you want me to give you a number, Mike Flanagan, here's a number I'll give you. Per month, yeah, $19.99.
$19.99?
Yeah, $20 a month.
Ooh,
Okay.
No, that's too expensive.
All right.
Okay.
So first of all, Mike, to your point, I also agree that bowling streaming should be free. I do agree with that premise very much. I don't know how you get there, but I do agree with that. I actually told Chad Murphy that 5 years ago in his office when we were talking about what streaming looks like. I believe that. I believe it should be on YouTube because it's going to be the best way to attract new fans and people to be like, man, I was watching this bowling on YouTube, man. This was cool. I agree with that. Now, how can Bolero do that? In their marketing budget, they will need to shift dollars from something else and say, we're going to shift these dollars over to doing this online streaming. And throughout the online streaming, we better be driving a shit ton of people to our bowling centers to have birthday parties and corporate parties and whatever, and use it as a loss leader piece of advertising, right? That's how they would do it. I don't know if that makes sense with their other marketing spend. I have no idea, but that's how they would have to do it to be able to pull off what you're saying. So let's just take $100 a year because it's very easy to figure this out.
Right.
So the rumor on the street, I've never seen P&Ls, is that we got to about 10,000 subscribers in bowling. I don't know if that includes the freebies and the manufacturers get a couple free ones and the Tom, Dick, and Harry and the connected people or whatever. So let's say we got $1 million for this streaming service. Us three. All right. We're starting this thing. $1 million. Now we got to find a paywall partner to put it behind. Unless you guys know how to code back ends of websites so people can log in and all that kind of crap. So New Lion back in the day, from what I understand, was a 40% rake.
Wow.
40% went to New Lion, from what I understand, hearsay. And I know that when I looked into this, when I was putting together a budget for this, the cheapest partner I could find, doesn't mean it's the best partner to be able to give the best online experience to our end users, was a 20% rake. Okay. So let's go ahead and take 200,000 off the top. So we got $800,000 left for us to spend. All right. How many days are we going to be streaming? About 100 with travel. Okay. So what is that? Is that 8,000 a day, right? 100 days, 800,000. We got 8,000 a day to go out and stream these things. Well, what's the best streaming service look like? Is it us three? Is it Emil Williams Jr.? Is it Aaron Smith? Is it JT? Is it Lucas Wiseman? Is it the same cast? Is it Phil Brylo? How many of us are out there? Is Wriggles writing all the report or writing all the stories? Who are we using? Are we using the same old cast that are very good at what they do? Are we hiring John Mark away from Bowler's Journal? What are we doing to run this service? So how many people do you think we need to put this on?
No, I mean, it depends. You know, are you talking, or we're trying to do the best we can? I mean,
we want to, yeah.
What you're describing is like a powerhouse of bowling media. I mean, all behind one paywall.
But what he's trying to say is
that would
you have to hire full-time people. Like,
yeah, I understand, and I get it, but I think the better product you build through getting those people, right, the more better chance you have to get the subscribers who are willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
I mean,
and bowling on the internet's been around for like 15 years now, right?
Right.
And it started with Strike Pass, and I'm not real familiar with that. But then you had the Bowling Doctor, Jeff Mark, with Mike J. Laneside and Jason Thomas, the bowling guy. And those three guys did a good job. I was hooked on it. Like, I loved watching US Open at Carolier with those guys and, all this stuff. I thought they've done a great job. In all honesty,
I could have done without the PB Atkinson skits and shit.
Well, that's just guys trying to be creative.
I know. But go ahead. Listen. I 100% agree with you. I probably watched more Extra Frame than anybody in history. I mean, I was like addicted to the shit.
Yeah, me too. So, and it was cool when it was like this new shining vehicle, right? New shiny vehicle. Today's live streaming ain't much different than it was 15 years ago. It's cameras with picture-in-picture scoreboards. You've got more that you can watch now. That has evolved, and Flo pushed us. Flo pushed the bowling world to have more than one stream out there, right? So good on them for that. But what bowling is now is no different than 15 years ago on the internet. So in my opinion, I subscribed to Poker Go because I wanted to watch some of the big players. If you watch Poker Go, they have an unbelievable presentation. They got the hold cards. If all of a sudden we got sat at some table that's going to be on their TV screen, they take a picture of us, they cut it out in Photoshop, and it's on the screen within seconds when we get moved to the table. They got a huge operation going on there. We have yet to do that. So what I'm saying is to have the XL version, like Uber XL of online streaming, it's going to take an army of people that know what they're doing. Right.
How much does Poker Go cost to subscribe to?
I think it's like $70 a year or something like that with a coupon code or something. I got like a 2-month thing that was just, I was watching it on YouTube for free, and they got me because Ivy made a final table and I wanted to watch Phil Ivey, right? So they got me for $20 or something for a couple months. But I've been watching it. I just love the way they cover it, right? They got Norman Chad and Lon McCarran from back in the day, doing a lot of the broadcasting, and then some of the poker pros and everything, but it's all in high quality stream. It's beautiful. But they're also in casinos. So what do you expect? They've got great internet everywhere. But so in my opinion, you need a good cast of characters. And what I think that looks like, and you guys can chime in here in a second, is you bring in the broadcast for the pregame show, and you're sitting around a table like inside the NBA, and you got 4 characters there, or 3 characters there, or 2, and they are separate from the people that are calling the action. This group is who you send it into the studio. And maybe they bring over a guest of whoever just led the last squad in between, just like Barkley and those guys do after a game. You know, they talk to Jalen Brunson or whoever. I would kind of take that model and try to build that in. But then you got to have a website behind it. You got to have writers. You got to have people that are asking the right questions, that are putting out the right headlines to get people to click, the clickbait. And that's where I throw a guy like Wriggles in there. So if you take a guy like Wriggles, what's he going to cost? 70, 80 grand a year? What am I going to cost? 100K a year? What do you guys need to get out of your job? 75, 80, 100 grand a year? Am I keeping you guys out?
More than that, bro. More than that, bro. I live in New Jersey. Holy shit.
All right.
You don't want to hear my number.
Right? You guys
I have a dog, man. I got a dog.
He's too expensive for the bowling world, son. Oh, my God.
So then you take Lucas, you take whoever it is we're going to use, right? And then in the booth, I think it's stupid to have me and some other guy that hasn't gone out there and bowled on the lanes. You need a guy that can do the play-by-play. You need a person that sits next to him, like a Barnes or somebody like that. And then you need a roamer. You need a guy walking around with a wireless, interviewing people that are down there getting the stories. So when he's listening to the broadcast and it's like, yeah, I'm not sure what ball that guy just switched to, that person's on it like stink on shit and goes down there and says, hey guys, it's a it's a high road pearl. Okay, cool. High road pearl. Thanks, Mike. You know, that's what this thing needs to look like. And when I put it together on paper, not to bore your listeners, it's about $1.8 million to put on the greatest show on earth.
Woo! Per year?
Per year.
Woo!
And that's if
so really it's like $2 million flat, because if you're getting me and Rob, we're more expensive than you thought. So call it $2 million a year. Damn. So $2 million. All right, let's reverse the math on this.
It's like so to be very profitable, you need around 25,000 subscribers.
At what? At how much?
At 100 a year. Or if you really want to do the other math, I think last time I did it, it was 250 million views on YouTube for free. So if you get 250 million YouTube views and you broadcast it free over all the time you're streaming and all your extra little content, and I didn't, in my Performa, I have a video guy there putting out slow motion videos of the leaders of the blocks and all that kind of shit to draw more people in, to try to get people interested in this and want to subscribe to what we're putting out.
You got Jimmy. You got Jimmy from the Ringing 10 on the payroll, putting the memes out, doing the meme thing while the tournament's going on. I love it.
Here's the thing, Mike. I love your vision, right? And maybe down the road somewhere, 30 years from now, we could put something like that together. All really I want right now, and I'll be honest with you, all I really want is to be able to watch every game of one pro. I really, and I'm, look, like I'm really close friends with Bill O'Neill. Big Mike is, close friends. I want to be able to watch Bill O'Neill every shot of every game of the U.S. Open. I don't care really about what anybody else is doing, honestly. And maybe throw in a sprinkle of maybe being able to bet on some of the match play matches during a live stream, right? I just want to watch.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
And I'm being honest with you, Mike. That's all good and all that's all fine and dandy and all that, the vision. All I want to watch is I want to be able to watch Jason Belmonte for 24 games of match play at the U.S. Open. I want to be able to watch Bill O'Neill just like golf does, right? You don't miss a shot with golf in the last 2 days. I think
you have that right now. When it gets down to match play, all streaming services cover every game of match play.
Yeah, but
you got to skip pairs on your own. You got to change the channel.
I know, but there's been some times when there's been position rounds, and I'm getting a little bit of what Bill is doing on a lane that's like half covered. You know what I mean? I'm not really getting
I will tell you, like maybe on the main feed, you don't get them bouncing around enough, but you should be able to go to another feed and watch what you want to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think
qualifying than anything.
I think the point that Mike made in his pitch there is that given an ideal, he would have that. If you got 25,000 subscribers at 100 hours a month, you would have that. Yes.
So here's the thing:
here's the thing is
now I'm
100
sure
a month.
what you-
Oh my God, 100 a month. We'd all
I'm
have
sure
yachts.
I'm sure what Mike's plan, like, obviously in an ideal that would be great, but you really also need to like crawl before you walk, right? Like, and you need to like walk
Well,
before
I think
you
we've
run.
been crawling for 15 years.
Oh, we've been crawling. We've been literally like army crawling. Like it's like shot. We've been wounded crawling.
So I have a solution, I think.
Okay. Oh,
I think I have a solution to actually make this happen. Okay.
Let's hear it.
But it takes
great.
people coming together again.
Oh
Okay?
God. In the bowling world.
So I'm going to throw two things out at you. Back in the day, and you guys may not remember this, but Sports Illustrated used to sell subscriptions on television through commercials. They would say, hey, subscribe to Sports Illustrated and get that free sneaker phone. Remember that?
Right.
Oh, of course.
And
Yeah,
people
I got
would
myself a
subscribe.
sneaker phone. Swimsuit edition.
Right, exactly, right. And you get that, right? So there was always a hook, right? And then,
Sure.
a lot of bowling centers made a lot of money having have-a-ball leagues, right? Join the league, get a free ball. And everybody's like, well, shit, it makes you forget about paying for the league. You want the ball, right? And they were basically just getting it at cost and then building it into the cost that you paid every week, right? So there was some value added there. So what if Sweep the Rack Inside Bowling streaming company, what if we said, hey, look, folks, it's $199 a year, but you get to pick any bowling ball you want. Any ball. We are partnered in with all of our product manufacturer companies, and you get any ball you want as part of your subscription. How many people would say, well, shit, I can buy this ball and I get to watch all this? Could we get 25,000 people to do that? I don't know. But there is one rub with that. And there's probably more than one. But we got some great pro shop operators out there that sell these products to the consumer with their markup. We, as a streaming service, need the support of the pro shops. And for us to come in and just do this deal with the ball manufacturers and we undercut the shops to promote the stream, I can see where some shops would say, we don't like that, Mr. Manufacturer, and we don't like that you're taking a sale away from us, 25,000 of them to be exact. And I get that. But there are cookie cutter deals with big tournaments where you get them a little bit cheaper. There's staff pricing. There's things like that. Why wouldn't they do that for our streaming network? I think we might have a chance at that. I don't know about 25,000, but we might be able to get to the highest percentage of people subscribing to an online internet service in the history of bowling. I think we could surpass 10,000 doing it that way.
Michael, let me ask you something on that point, right? Which is a great idea and I love it. And I think it would be, it would have a better chance to succeed, right? What if the USBC, let's say we took it to vote where the membership, the dues, they raised the dues USBC, let's just say $5 a bowler, which is a lot, right? Or $3 a bowler. And they gave everybody who was a USBC member a subscription to Bowl TV. Now, how many members are there to USBC? I forget off the top of my head, but it's probably like 400,000 or something.
I don't know the number these days. I don't know the number. I really don't.
Is that something you think is also another kind of solution where people might, you might be able to vote in a $2 to $3 and those $2 to $3 go towards Bowl TV and creating a streaming service or something to that nature for Bowl TV?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think not. I don't know.
You don't think people would vote for it?
No, not for that part of it. I mean, 50 cents or something maybe to go to like a marketing fund, and then those funds get allocated the way USBC wants to. Like a Grow Bowling fund. Hey, we're raising it $1, and with that $1 we're raising, we're going to bring more people into the sport, and we're going to take.
People do throw shit fits over dues raises, though. I mean, it's crazy how like $1 dues raise, people will throw an absolute crazy shit fit. But you are giving them a service, though.
Yeah, or when a bowling center, their distributor of beer comes up to them and says, hey, we're raising your beer costs this year per bottle 10 cents. And then you go to your league officers in a league officer meeting, and in every league meeting you go, hey, guys, beer's 10 cents more a bottle. And they go, oh, you just making handle. I'm like, well, it was raised 10 cents on us. We're not even marking it up.
Right.
That's bullshit. I don't believe it. Show me an invoice.
But here's the thing, though, Mike, is would be different in this fact that everybody who is a league member would actually get a Bowl TV subscription. So you are actually seeing the people who are paying the extra $3 for a year are getting a subscription. Like, it is actually coming back to the people instead of getting a dues raised for $1 and you don't know where that dollar went. And I think that's the problem where people throw a shit fit because they don't see where they're getting the extra money. You know what I mean?
I feel you on it. I mean, I understand. It's a way to get there mathematically. I don't know if it could get pulled off, but yeah.
Okay.
Your train of thought's a good train of thought. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, just throwing that out there.
It's a fun conversation.
It is.
Fun thoughts. I mean,
so where are we going with this? I want to know, where do you think realistically, Mike, before we let you go, because this is a great conversation. Where do you think it actually is? The PBA and Bowl Era are headed with the streaming service. If you were to look into the future and give your prediction.
Man, it's really 50-50, right? Like, I really think that they would love to find a partner that's going to pay them a licensing fee or a rights fee, I think is what it's called. And they had that with Flo, man. Flo came to the table with cash, and they paid him money. I don't know if anybody would give the PBA money again to fund this service, right? To have the PBA walk away from it. I don't know if anybody would do that again. So PBA's just got a decision. Do they? And here's the thing: I think Bowl Era, if they do bring it in house, it will be the best version of online bowling that you've ever seen, because I think they'd want to make a splash, right? And kind of, beat their chest a little bit. Look what we created. Here it is, right? I think that's just kind of their swagger, right?
I don't. I disagree. I think that it's much more likely that they find the cheapest way to get it done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Through somebody else. Nah, come on, bullshit. It's way more likely that they find the cheapest way to get it done through whatever cheap avenue there is. I mean, and I don't know who gets paid what and who the pricey streaming guys are, or who the expensive streaming guys are. But I'm sure, they're very able to find, somebody who's willing to do it for cheaper than the next guy, and bring them out and let them run it and just call it a day. And that's what I'm concerned about. That's why I tagged you on Twitter, son. Because I don't want that to happen. I would much rather see somebody with the ideas and the forethought that you have get a shot at this than to just say, oh yeah, well, let's just give it over to this guy because he's willing to travel all around, barely making any money just to do it. But sorry to interrupt there. Go ahead. Yeah, yes, no, Dougie, I'm ready. I talked about it earlier, son. I'll be there Sunday. Son.
I have a little more faith in the people that would be behind this. I think Tom, that website thing.
Robert Hamilton with a great point. If they can't put a website together, how are they going to put a streaming service together?
Yeah, it's about what you're good at, though, right? So Tom Clark is good at media. Tom Clark is good at caring about a product, right? So I don't think he would let it be shit, right? And Jeff Goodger works for them. And Jeff Goodger has all the respect from me. He's a good producer. He knows what a good product should look like. He cares. And I think he would do a good job, right? I really do. So I think that if they were going to put their mind to it, that they would do just fine. I think they would do just fine. But I would much rather see it in one spot. And, I personally would like to see it on Bowl TV just because I'm over there working with those folks. And here's the other thing I just want to say. Tom Clark back in the day, Jeff Reese, then, the CEO of the PBA at the time, they were great to me, working extra frame. They treated me with class. Flo has treated me with class. And Bowl TV, the folks at USBC have treated me with class. I say some controversial things. I do some stupid stuff. And I've never got a text from Chad Murphy saying, you need to knock that off, Flanagan. Like, instead it's like, that's hilarious. Good job. Like, he sang karaoke with me at the Senior Masters. I had Chris Barnes in the booth singing Rainbow Connection with Kermit the Frog. at the end of a block, and he was willing to do it. And I didn't get booed off the air or told, hey, you need to knock that shit off. So I just want to say all the streaming services that have been out there, everybody tries really hard. We are kind of like a family. Aaron Smith sent a picture to me and Curtis Von Kruger and Emil Williams Jr. yesterday from Junior Gold from 2 years ago with a, hey, man, this was a lot of fun working this event. I'm going to tell you, that's like the worst event to work from a work standpoint and just being totally tired and dead. And Aaron Smith sent me this memory to the four of us in a group chat. So us streaming Idiot, Gypsy, Ringling Brothers, and Barnum and Bailey Circus people, we do care deeply about what we do, and we do get treated pretty well from, the powers that be of whoever we're working for.
No doubt. Well said. Mike, thanks for joining us. It was a good conversation.
Don't forget, InsideBowling.com.
InsideBowling.com, Sweep the Rack, 20% off. And don't forget, let's throw our Sweep the Rack weight behind Mike Flanagan to lead the bowling streaming revolution, the next wave of the bowling streaming revolution. Because Mike, I like the ideas. I hope you get a shot, son. I do. I hope you get a shot. And if you get a shot and it works out, reach back out to us. We're in. You ain't gonna get us to travel around and come on site and do all that nonsense and whatever. But for a much cheaper price, you can have us right here in the comfort of our own homes, chopping it up with much speculation as we always do. So if you get the shot, definitely reach out, because we'd love to be a part of trying to grow bowling, trying to give people a reason to subscribe and watch.
Yeah, I appreciate the energy over here that you guys bring every week. So I do enjoy watching and catching up on your podcast and that. Sometimes your facts are a little off, and it kind of drives me a little crazy. And because I want you guys to be taken seriously and be like a force in bowling, like you say you are, there are a few times on the facts checking that I just wish, I wish they knew this, because they could really take this thing to the next level at times. So reach out to me anytime, guys, if you need.
And listen, when those occurrences pop up, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know.
Yeah, I know.
Mike,
I know.
We're fans, Mike. We're fans that speculate. So if our facts aren't right, Jeff Riggles lets us know too. Trust us.
Oh yeah. Thank God we have Jeff around.
That bothers him more than it bothers
check us left and right. Jesus Christ. But all right, no doubt. Mike, safe travels. Have a good time at Junior Gold, doing your thing out there. And we'll be in touch, man.
All right, great. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mike.
Take it easy. Yeah, I love his idea about the bowling ball subscription, because I think there's a lot of value there. But yeah, I just don't have the same enthusiasm or positive outlook that people would be able to work together so much, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough. 25,000 subscribers. You're barely getting 2,000 at Flow, or is what, at least views. To get to 25,000 subscribers, it's going to really have to happen, Mike. You're really going to need some kind of like Tiger Woods revolution. Like, you're going to need something to really drive interest to the sport.
No, I don't feel that way. I feel that if you give people a strong enough reason to subscribe and you make it a good enough value, then people are going to subscribe. People are going to find out about it and subscribe. But it also has to do with promotion, right? It depends who you're tied in with. Like, if you're tied in with the USBC or you're tied in with Bolero, and they get behind promoting, this value of this streaming service, then yeah, I think that it might be a lot easier to get to that number. But you often don't see that. You don't see that kind of promotion and dedication to trying to get people on board with something or show people the value in something.
I think Robert hit it on the head here. You need to get the word out to OSB. So look, here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you got the USBC behind it and they really promoted it for an extended amount of time, and it has value and it's something that's good and word is spreading in the bowling community, then yeah, I do think it's doable.
Mike, what drives me crazy? Like, I guarantee you go to any Bolero center tonight, and you barely probably see bowling on TV at a majority of them. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But how many times do I hear bowlers say, "Oh, I'd love to watch bowling, but I don't know when it's on, or I don't know where it's on," right? So like,
here's the thing is,
you give it a home. Yeah.
the proprietors, the BPAA, the USBC, and the PBA all have to come together with Bolero and say, we coming in with this new streaming service. We need to get this out to the bowlers. We need to have this thing ran on most TVs in the bowling center, right? We need to have every time we have a streaming service up, it has to be in the bowling centers, on the TVs, on the bar, right? When I went to B3 Performance a couple weeks ago, guess what was on their TVs while I was there? Streaming, right? They were streaming. They were watching bowling, people coming in, and now they're looking at the bowling, go, oh, I didn't know bowling was on. Oh, well, it's the match play for this tournament, whatever. And they go, and that gets people thinking like, oh, well, how much is that? Like, there's got to be a common ground, all high-level competitive like industries, the USBC, the BPAA, Bolero, they all have to come together, work together to get this, to try to get to 25,000 subscribers so they could dump more money into the product and get what all Mike was saying about.
Right, but remember, we're talking 25,000, 100 a year. And
I'm just saying it's got to start somewhere. I know he over budgeted a lot of that stuff, right? He doesn't need Sweep the Rack. He doesn't need, all the people. He doesn't need Wriggles to be there, right?
Right.
You need your same people every tournament, and then maybe as more subscribers come in, you could reinvest into bringing more content to the channel, right? But they have to figure out a way to do it differently than Flo did it, okay? Because Flo didn't succeed, and you know what the definition of insanity is, Mike, right? It's doing the same thing over again and expecting different results.
No doubt.
Got to try something new.
All right, on to other bowling talk here.
We're
going into super overtime tonight. Super overtime.
Well, PBA League, not
PBA
really a
League.
whole lot going on. I mean, one show last night, right? It was a great show, right? I mean, God, Mike, if every show was like Portland, Maine, when there's no COVID restrictions, we got a vintage look of what Portland, Maine looks like pre-COVID. Agreed? Last night?
Yeah, no, it was rocking.
But I've never seen so much emotion from the players, and I think the reason why that is, and I think Stu Williams hit on it when we brought him in for an interview, is the fact that you're bowling a Baker match, and the players only have to throw 2 shots a game, and it gives people like EJ Tackett a chance to really show some emotion when normally he wouldn't, because he's trying to keep his feelings in check when you're bowling a one-on-one match. When you're bowling Baker, and I know that from bowling college, you know that from bowling college, dude, you could throw a strike and you can get as hype as you want. And you have about 10 minutes before you probably have to throw your next shot. So you could really bring down your emotions for your next shot. And I feel like between the Baker format and Portland, Maine's atmosphere, you're getting a really good sense of what bowling, like what really good emotion and what really good crowd and atmosphere looks like. I love it. I think it's great for sport.
Yeah, you tweeted it out last night. I said it in response to your tweet. I guess we were both catching up on the show that, I wrote down in my notes while watching the show that the emotion these guys show on this show is what's needed all the time. Again, we talk about this all the time. It's just, it's not the way it works. It's not the way it works in a regular singles event. There's just, they need to stay even keel in order to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. But man, what an environment it does create when the players can have the opportunity to show some emotion. And I'll be honest, from going up there for that PBA playoffs final that they had there, the players weren't really showing a ton of emotion in that during those games, not until the end of those games or until the games were over. And I think that the vibe was still there, even if the players weren't really like feeding off of the crowd the entire game. So I think anytime you go into Bayside and it has that kind of environment, it's going to bring a different, level of hypeness to the show.
The Baker match play is an awesome format for that tournament.
Yeah, it is. But I wish it wasn't a step ladder. I wish it was like it was last year.
2-game match.
And if it goes 1-1 and it's a roll off at the end, I like that format. I like the ringing of the bell.
Game changer,
I like how they rang the bell at Bayside. But listen, the PBA insists on having these giant graphic boards behind everything. So even they even to me, kind of took some of the vibe away from Bayside because you can't see anybody standing and sitting behind on that first level. And, that I don't like it. We've talked before. I think they should get rid of those boards. But, yeah, it was an interesting show. It was a good show. It was an interesting show. I mean, you had Belmo flagging the head pin on a really important shot. I don't want to say what or assign a reason to why it may be, but it seems like he struggles on these team shows. Like, he does not have a lot of success in this PBA League whatsoever. One other observation I had was like AJ Chapman. This is the first time we saw him on TV since his what I would call collapse in the title match during the World Series. And yeah, he had a rough night. He had a really rough night. I mean, every shot he threw, it seemed like was either missing the head pin or through the face. And then when he finally does throw one good, and he's made a ball switch, I think, to a Webb Pearl, and he finally throws one good, he's throwing eights. So yeah, he had a rough night out there too. Kevin Williams was my favorite bowler to watch on that show last night, because he seemed to enjoy the environment and have a good sense of swag in that environment. So yeah, it was a good show. I'm actually looking forward to going downstairs and watching the show from tonight. No spoiler alerts, people. No spoiler alerts. Okay, don't be putting spoilers in the chat. We want to go watch the show. Portland Lumberjacks coming out with the win. I think that's probably what everybody wanted anyway. They led qualifying. They're the hometown team. They're the 2-time defending champions, I believe. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure like everybody who's up there, Bopo watching, definitely wanted that to be the case, and that's what they got. Good matches. For the most part, I thought they were. Most of them came down to at least one team having a chance in the tight 10th frame. So yeah, let's talk about the other news coming out of the PBA League, Rob, and Nico is putting it out here, putting a little spoiler alert out there, even though I asked for no spoilers, and Norm Duke retiring.
I'm kind of upset that he's not going to bowl the PBA 50, because he's not even planning on bowling that. His comment was he's done completely, right? Like, he's not picking up a ball ever again. That's what he literally said. So I feel like when you've had as good is not even the word, Mike. When you've had an
legendary
amazing career as Norm Duke, who, in my opinion, will go down could be a top 3 greatest bowlers of all time, right? You could put him. There's an argument to that, right? Where you could easily put him in the Mount Rushmore in the top 5, but you could also argue that he had, one of the best top 3 careers. Charisma off the lanes as well as on the lanes. Super likable guy, right? We've had him on the show multiple times. And if anybody knows me, and I've said it numerous times, he was my bowling idol growing up. I loved his game. I loved the way he played to the fans. An amazing bowler, amazing guy. Sad to see him retire. And Mike, him making that show, his first show, Bowling Earl Anthony, will always be one of my, favorite moments when he talks about it. It's like one of his favorite moments of his career, I think. But shot maker, what can you say? You can't say anything bad about the guy, Mike. He's just, one of my favorites growing up. And good luck to Norm and his retirement. Maybe we'll be able to get him on the show more, that he has got some free time, and he's going to be able to fix a lot of his condos now. A lot of people are putting in maintenance requests.
He's got the properties to take care of, so he'll still be busy, even if he's not bowling, he'll still be busy. But yeah, well said, Rob. I mean, sir,
he said he's fried. Young out with Noah all week. Dude, the big wheels, I could see. I would love to have a beer with the big wheel, Matt Anderson, and Norm Duke. Like, that would be like the ideal drinking.
So yeah, what else? What can you say? I mean, legend. If you're of our age, Norm Duke is unquestionably one of your favorite bowlers. There aren't too many people out there that aren't Norm Duke fans in terms of the bowling thing. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. It kind of makes me feel old to a certain extent to see somebody like Duke and Weber. And
now Weber is
because Weber's retiring too, and Robert Hamilton
he's bowling the 50
in the
though.
chat. Right, he's still going to bowl the 50, retiring from the PBA League, retiring from the regular tour, which we already knew about. Yeah, kind of wild. I mean, because like two guys,
big losses. That's two big losses for the
it
PBA.
is two monumental losses for the PBA. But like, hopefully, the PBA and Bolero, find a way to keep these guys around to a degree. Managers of a league team,
Dude,
or
bring Pete into the booth, man.
right, bringing them into the booth. Things
know.
of this nature. Like these are ways that we can still keep the legends around in the game. So yeah, congratulations to those guys. We hope they enjoy their retirement, whatever they choose to do or however they choose to spend their time. But yeah, kind of the end of an era. Kind of the end of an era. It's the end of an era in the PBA. It really is, because Walter Ray, Duke, Weber, and Parker were all, the top, the best of the best through the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. Like, these are the guys who owned
Norm
the
Duke,
tour
2010,
for,
2020.
Yeah, true. He went a little longer. But yeah, to see all four of those guys.
Yes, I do. I do want Pete Weber dropping F-bombs in the booth.
Nico getting involved in the chat. But
scenario.
To see these four guys, like, if not retiring already, to be on the verge of that part of their careers, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild,
Mike,
because how many Saturday afternoons did we tune into bowling and hear one of those names or more on the show?
I'm going to stir up some bullshit right now, and I know we're going overtime, but I'm going to stir someone up here. How much of the two-handed bowling and high rev rate of the way the conditions are playing now and the style contributed someone like Norm Duke retiring?
I don't know.
He was still competing.
You want to say a lot, but like, he had a chance to win a major last year.
I know, which is crazy, right? That he's retired because he's still competing with these guys.
Is it really that much of a factor?
I
just think it's time. I just think it's age. I think it's time. I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine how physically taxing it is for these guys to bowl this many games?
I bowled 8 games on Thursday, and I felt like my truck ran over me. And I'm 41. These guys have been bowling like that for decades. So I can't imagine the back and the knees and the hand and the wrist and whatever else. The traveling, Mike. People forget about all the traveling these guys have done. Yeah. That's really taxing, traveling, planes and driving and, being away from your family and all that stuff. I'm surprised these guys didn't retire earlier, to be honest with you. It's a lot.
Yeah, so kind of the end of an era. It's somewhat sad, somewhat melancholy, but we wish those guys a lot of luck. Obviously over the years, like, they provided a lot of entertainment and a lot of enjoyment for all of us who enjoy watching bowling. Like I said, how many Saturday mornings did you turn on bowling and see one or more of those names in the top 5? And you were always hype, to see these guys bowl and do their thing. So, good luck to those guys. All right, Rob, let's wrap it up and let's give the people what they want.
Mike, I got a good one. I got a good one for the people tonight. I have to make up for my worst of the week 2 weeks ago. That didn't go over too well. So I am going to share my screen here for the people. Okay. If anybody hasn't seen this video, it might be my favorite worst of the week. And I'll try to give people an explanation of what the video is after who are listening and can't watch it. So let's do it here. Let me pull this up here. So what are we watching, Mike? I'm starting it right now at 0 seconds. This gentleman is bowling a national stop. I'm not sure what tournament it is, but let's just watch, okay? He's shooting a 6-pin. Okay, he just stepped on the approach. Lefty. He's just stepped on the approach. He's waiting. Mike, he still hasn't gone yet. What is it? Spin How many seconds? 22 seconds, Mike. He still hasn't went. 27 seconds. He's still standing there going, Mike.
It's wild.
32 seconds. He hasn't gone yet. 35. Mike, 40 seconds. He still hasn't started his approach yet. Mike, he just started at 45 seconds. And he ace to spare. Mike, this guy took 45 seconds from the minute he got onto the approach.
It's wild.
What would you do, Mike, if that was you bowling and you were crossing with this guy? No, I'm being serious. What would you do?
Nothing.
You wouldn't say anything to him?
No.
You would bowl your regular tournament qualifying and wouldn't say anything to him?
No.
I would. I'm sorry. I would. It's
Okay.
just not. Today, Junior. I mean, there has to be something you would, right? Like, Jesus Christ. I would try to play like the This Week in Baseball for a rain delay. You know, they used to play that music. He did this every shot, Mike. And you're going to tell me 45 seconds, you're sitting there. I feel bad for the people bowling next to him more than I feel bad for the people that are like bowling on his pair. Because I can't imagine having to sit there waiting for this guy to fucking shoot his shot for 45 seconds. Like
I could, if I was bowling on the pair next to him, I could picture myself, like once I've seen him do it numerous times, I could picture myself he's up there, he's waiting his 40 seconds to throw a shot. I could picture myself just getting up on the lane, getting set up and going before he even moves. You know, and if he chooses to step off, then he chooses to step off. But
Dave,
yeah, I mean,
every shot how he did that.
To stand up there, you know, for that long and not expect that people are gonna get up and, you know, kind of go or you know, cut you off, so to speak. I guess I don't think you can use that terminology if you're taking that long to throw a shot. But I could picture myself kind of if I was bowling next to him. But if I'm bowling with him, I don't know, man. What are you going to say? Unless there's a shot clock or something, I don't really think that there's too much that you could say.
What the fuck's the problem, bro? You need to go.
Yeah,
Get your head out of your ass. Anyway, that's my verse of the week. Good Lord.
Maybe you gave me a good strategy for this weekend. If I make the match play, I'll take 45 seconds to throw every shot and fry my opponents out, fry everybody out.
Oh, you fucking pissed so many people, especially in New York and New Jersey.
Oh, my God. Dude, you'd have people throwing stuff at you from the back.
Dude, if this guy did this in Brooklyn in my old leagues in Gil Hodges,
holy shit.
Dude, this guy would have gotten knocked out in
somebody would smack him. Yeah, somebody would have smacked him. Yeah, I agree.
Smacked him. Oh, this guy wouldn't have made it through the first week in league.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. Oh, boy. All right, I'm going to give...
Spag says that Randy's buzzing tonight, by the way. Maybe of course he's been drinking. He's in Portland, Maine. You know he's had a few before the show.
Yo, be careful. He'll block you on Twitter. He's got me blocked, Spags. I don't know what I said that he didn't like.
Oh, I'll reach out to him and ask him.
Okay. I'm going to give my worst of the week it's from Twitter, and I'm going to give it to Joe Mockery. Joe_Mockery on Twitter.
Congrats.
Mokry. Congrats, Joe. You've won worst of the week. So he must have gone on Instagram. Kimberly Pressler posted something on Instagram. Okay. And this guy went on Instagram and tagged her in his response.
Okay.
And said, since you're at 30,000 followers, you should celebrate by posting a picture of yourself on here. One that nobody has ever seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And then put like he put like it's either like a bra and panties or a bikini emoji. I can't tell exactly which one it was.
My guy Joe taking a shot.
Then hold on. This is what makes it worse. Then he came on Twitter. He screenshotted the post that he posted on Instagram, and then he came on Twitter and tagged her on Twitter and said, just in case you didn't see it on there, I posted this on Instagram. Just a random thought.
My
I
guy.
mean, Joe, come
Dude,
on. Stop
guy's
being
thirsty.
a fucking perv, Joe.
Dude, my guy's thirsty.
Come on.
Someone
Don't
get
be
him a
that
water.
thirsty on the internet, Joe.
Someone
Okay?
get this guy a water.
Come
He
on,
double took his
Jesus.
shot.
Oh my God. Terrible.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
Dude.
I also I have to give an
Honorary
honorable
mention.
mention. I do. I have to give an honorable mention because some people are going to disagree with me here. But my boy Stumpo, okay, and let me be clear here, I'm not defending Stumpo because Stumpo has not thrown a bowling ball in 3+ years, okay? Yet he will go on Facebook and argue with house bowlers about how they suck because they don't bowl on real conditions.
And he hasn't bowled in 3 years.
And he hasn't bowled in 3+ years. And I tell
love
him,
it.
boss, in order to talk the shit, you got to throw the
gotta-
rock, son. You got to throw the rock in some way. You can't talk shit and not throw the rock at all.
Dude,
okay?
it's like, but that's just social media. I mean, how many people are just giving people shit and they don't even do what they're giving shit about?
I hear you. So he sends me this Facebook conversation that he's having with somebody earlier this week. And basically, like, this guy said to him, he responded something on Facebook, and this guy said to him, I'm still waiting for you to bowl me. Okay. And then Stumpo comes back and tells him, not on a house shot. I won't even lace up my shoes. Now, again, he hasn't bowled in 3+ years, but he's saying he'll bowl on a sports shot right away.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Don't know about that. Now, here's where I give my worst of the week honorable mention to. It's to Jason B. Zeitz on Facebook. Okay, congratulations, Jason. You got an honorable mention. And he says, he tags Stumpo, and he says, always some excuse. Come to Castor, which is a bowling center in Philadelphia. Come to Castor Sunday night. It's a house shot, but in a difficult house. My money is on Sharpie, the other guy that was involved in the conversation. And he hashtags it law firm, which I assume is probably like the name of their team, maybe a UVA team or something like that.
I like it.
So the reason I'm giving
firm.
the reason I'm giving Jason Zeitz worst of the week is because he's suggesting that there are tough house shots. Okay, Jason, I hate to break it to you, but if you're struggling on a particular house shot, it's just because you don't throw it the way you need to throw it to have great success on that house shot. Any house shot has a way to unlock great success on that house shot. You just have to be able to do that. Oh,
maybe
Johnny Petraglia in the chat. Yo, my man. I wish I was around this weekend, my man. Rob, he was at Carolier bowling an event on Sunday.
Yeah,
okay, great tack event. Did he? Oh, you moved out here? Yo, hit me up. Hit me up if you moved out here.
Yeah,
okay, I was not aware of that. I was like, where the hell? Why is he out here? Is he lost?
Yeah,
I thought he must be out visiting the fam. Probably decided to bowl the event. Okay,
he got out of Vegas. He got out of Vegas.
Okay, all right. Hey, never a bad thing to get out of Vegas. Yo, John, if I would have been around, I was up the mountains with some friends for the weekend. But if I was around, I would have been there. Would have saw you. So what's up, man? Welcome back to Jersey. Grab yourself a pork roll, egg, and cheese, son.
Anyway, we'll have to disagree another day about your difficult house shots because I think there are such things as difficult house shots.
Even today?
Even today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
But anyway, we agree to disagree. That's for a whole nother day here.
Wrap it up. Final thoughts, Rob. My final thought is to Darren Tang tonight. I know he doesn't give a shit about our podcast, which is fine. But
he was on here. Him and his brother came on.
I know. But I don't picture him as a regular viewer of Sweep the Rack.
No, I mean, I don't expect the pros to be.
No. In general, I do not. I'm sure I know there's a few that generally check us out. But yeah. My message to him, in my final thought this week is just stay out of the comments, son. My man is always on Twitter. Like showing that he's using something from the comments section as fuel to motivate him, which is fine. But like, really, who cares what some idiot in the comments section has to say? Like around here, we care because we are the idiots in the comment section. So there's no differentiating between us and the people in the comment section here. But yes, for the people on the Professional Bowlers Tour, why care about what the comment section says? The level of knowledge is so low out there in the bowling world that people just don't even have a clue. So what does it matter? But go ahead, Rob. Floor is yours.
Final thoughts. I saw a lot of hate on the internet, which is pretty common these days, in regards to the USBC National Tournament shot being walled up or too easy. There was an 848 that was shot in singles, beating an 835 in the last couple of weeks. I don't think any bowler has the right to comment on if a shot is too easy unless they bowl that tournament. So, Mike, if you were to sit here and say to me, oh, well, someone shot 848, they must be walled up. And then I say to you, well, what'd you shoot? And you say, well, I didn't bowl. Then I don't think you have any right to call that shot walled. Like, I did bowl, and I shot like 6-0 in singles. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of it is based on draw and based on pair, right? I think my pair was a little bit on the trickier side of the bowling center. But I guarantee you, even if they were decently easy, I didn't have 840 in me to bowl on that shot. To shoot an 848 in singles at the USBC tournament is a huge, huge score, regardless of how playable those lanes are. To shoot 830 is a very big score. These are very big scores. That's just my thoughts. If you didn't bowl the tournament, you have no right to talk about how easy the shot is at the USBC National Tournament. And that's my final thought.
Okay. Do I have a right to talk about the quality of perceived shot making by people putting up big scores if I didn't bowl?
I mean, yeah, you could look like you could have your thoughts and perception of how these people are bowling, their styles and whatnot. To shoot 848 at the USBC National Tournament, you have to be throwing the ball good. Trust me.
Agreed. But I'm saying, like, when I see some guys shooting 300 and it looks like they can't repeat a shot worth of shit, am I allowed to comment on that? Am I allowed to comment or no?
300 is
yes or no? Am I allowed to comment? Okay.
Yes, you could comment on that because it's a 300.
I will continue to comment then.
300 is, look, like,
I understand. I tweeted out the dude who shot 848. Like he throws it sick. 848, like you could see in the highlight reel that they put together. Like, my man was making shot after shot. Like, you could see that. But yeah, that has not been the case with everything I've seen coming out of that tournament.
No. I'm not saying the shot's not playable, because it is. But my point is, it doesn't matter how easy. 848 is still a huge score, especially in that tournament. And they're not that easy. They're playable, but they're not that easy. Trust me. I bowled it. I seen the shot, and 840 is such a monster score. I can't even explain it, honestly.
Fair enough. All right, Rob, check us out on social media. I'm at the 215. He's at Brooklyn Rob 11. Check out PBA Bowling. The finals are coming up, probably on right now. I'm going to go downstairs.
I got to check it out.
Make sure that I catch up here. Sunday, finals of the PBA League. We should all be checking that out. We'll be here next Thursday. I'm bowling on Sunday myself in Dougie's event. Follow me on Twitter. I'm sure I'll have some content for you. Check out Dougie's live stream. I know he'll be live streaming the event. So Brooklyn Rob 11 at the 215. SweepTheRackBowling.com. Check us out. Subscribe on YouTube. Folks, we always appreciate you. InsideBowling.com. Sweep the Rack. 20% off. Use our code. Guys, we always appreciate you coming and hanging out. We appreciate the conversation. If you're listening to this after the fact, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the support, Rob.
Even if you don't watch on YouTube, just make up a Gmail and subscribe for us. All subscribers are very we're thankful for it. So,
Rob, have a good week, son.
You too, man. Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big